Time since Game 4 against the Nuggets. Welcome back to NBA Showtime. Maria Taylor, the Hall of Famers, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, and Carmelo Anthony here. And guys, it ultimately came down to the final shot in a game that saw 19 lead changes. Absolutely no one led by more than 9 points. Let's take a look at that final sequence. Julian Champagnie, he does get the shot off an opportunity.
Absolutely. And I'm sure he's going to be just like Vince, talking about a shot that I'm sure Champagnie is going to be looking for that game winner in his career again. Absolutely.
But
I wasn't no, you're right. You're taking it. This guy right
felt
here.
like a stray to me. Felt like a stray to me.
I know what time it is. I understand it. I had to dump the straight. I understand it.
But guys, we saw an amazingly competitive Game 1 in the West, and we talked about it in our pregame show, but the Minnesota Timberwolves, just one of 3 teams that won the season series against the Spurs, so they know how to battle against them. What made them successful in this Game 1, Melo?
They just was relentless. They attacked. I thought Ant coming off the bench tonight gave Minnesota, or gave San Antonio a different look to prepare for. Overall, it was a pretty even game.
Yeah, it was
overall, it's just, Minnesota had closers tonight. Julius Randle was a closer. Ant did what he was supposed to do. Julius led these guys tonight. He put this team on his back. Everybody else did what they supposed to do. This is a well-balanced game, man. Jaden McDaniels, 16 points. Julius Randle, 21. Terrence Shannon, was key today. 16 points in 34 minutes. And Mike Conley, right? Somebody who haven't been playing, right, in a long time. So somebody who is at this point of his career and being told to go out there and the ball is in your hands and show us your leadership and do what you got to do. That was impressive, to see tonight from Mike Conley.
To me, it says a lot about what they think of Terrence Shannon, because you easily can insert Anthony Edwards, your superstar, back into the lineup, and it's business as usual. But Terrence Shannon has played great basketball. He played great in the last series, and I thought, however Anthony Edwards is feeling, they had a flow, and they were playing great basketball, and they didn't want to break that up, because Anthony Edwards, we know, he's a star. He's going to find his way regardless. He's find his rhythm, but you need the other guys to find the rhythm, particularly on the road against a very good San Antonio defense.
He found his rhythm towards the end of in the fourth quarter, too, specifically. Just 7 points the first 3 quarters, but he turned on just 11 points in the fourth quarter.
I want to tip my hat off to Finch.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought this was a well-coached game from Finch, and particularly how he utilized Ant-Man, right? Ant-Man was going in increments in minutes in the first half to reserve him for the fourth quarter.
Right.
And he was extremely aggressive in that fourth quarter, taking over the game. And then he goes out, and what they do, they bring in Terrence Shannon to get downhill, to apply that pressure on them. So Finch was making all the right moves tonight, and it paid off for these guys. So I want to tip my hat off to him. It was a well job of coaching tonight.
Yeah, Ant-Man plays 25 minutes in this one. Again, he's recovering from a bone bruise after hyperextending his knee in Game 4. We heard him talking, though, after the game. He just wasn't happy with his performance, which is crazy to think that he
was
just
right.
came
I love
back.
it. He was right. Yeah, that's the mentality you got to have as a superstar.
That's exactly the reaction that I want to hear. Just hearing what he said post-game.
Accountability.
What did that tell you?
It takes you take accountability for your mistakes, because that could have cost you a game on the road, right? So for him to acknowledge that is just him taking accountability, and he's not going to make those mistakes in the next game.
Yeah, giving up 2 offensive rebounds and a turnover late in the game, that's detrimental. That's how you lose a game, and that's a big deal, because now you've taken over home court because of that, and they survived it because they got a great look by Champagnie. So he's thinking about that. If I don't turn this ball over, that shot doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I love it.
He's also thinking about that knee. Right? To me, that sounded like a little bit of frustration at the fact that he's not 100%, right? And mentally, it's bothering him. You saw some of his movements out there tonight. He came down off the baseline layup. He started grimacing. He was running on the court. He started grimacing. Terrence Shannon had him at the end of the game. He said, it hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we on NBC.
Yeah, we on NBC. But he said his knee hurt, right? So that's something to kind of, keep looking at.
Yeah, we'll certainly keep an eye on it for sure. Mike Conley is sitting down, so we're going to get a chance to talk to him in a second. And it's been so interesting. We guys talked about it, but 19 seasons in the NBA.
Dang, he old.
The last 3 games, he's had to like step into a completely different role due to injuries, but it's worked out. And the Timberwolves, they seem to be playing like a team that knows they've been to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. That's something that it seems like they have working in their favor.
That says a lot about Mike, man. And I think young guys can learn from someone like Mike Conley, not just on the Wolves, but around the league, is that, okay, be ready when your opportunity knocks, for one. And that's just being a professional. Like, Mike is very capable. You're seeing that. But they were trying to they were going in a different direction. But at the same time, you always know you can count on a vet, because a vet is going to be ready to go. Mike Conley has been ready to go. He's a professional, and that shows. So you can learn something. You know, you young guys, you young kids out there watching this, you can learn something by that, because yes, you might not agree with the coach's decision, but what are you going to do when he calls your number to get back in the game? Are you going to pout, or are you going to show up?
That part. And Mike Conley has proven that he is ready to show up at any given time. And there he is, showing up.
There he is.
Right now for him.
Look him back.
I'm not going to let them talk about you like that, Mike. First of all, congratulations on the win in Game 1 in the semifinals of the Western Conference semifinals. Let's get into it, though. What do you think was the difference in this game, knowing that Ant-Man had to come off of the bench, knowing how tightly contested this game was going to be?
It came down to, being physical all 4 quarters. I thought we tried to really just try to wear them down, Wemby, all those guys, make it a tough night on them, keep attacking the rim. We know Wemby, I think he had like 10, 12 blocks or whatever it was. It's crazy. But we kept the pressure on the rim. We kept the pressure on the rim, and eventually we started to get a couple of them to go, and we found the corner offensively. So just our consistent pressure was what we wanted to do.
Mike, T-Mac here, not to give y'all game plan away, but what was it against Wemby? Because y'all did a great job of neutralizing him tonight.
We have a lot of bodies, and, we try to get under him as much as we can. Like I said, try to be physical. I thought Julius did a really good job of always being kind of underneath him. Rudy, we know what he can do defensively. We have different bodies, Naj, Jaden. So we just try to throw different looks at him and make it tough for him to get his normal shots off, and just try to make him make shots over us.
Mike, we're former teammates, and I know your preparation, and I know how you view and see the game. Talk about you being prepared and being ready. You weren't playing a lot of minutes near the end of the season, but yet your number is called on to start and play well.
Well, as you know, I learned from you, brother. You always got to stay ready, bro.
He old, man.
Hey, he old, way older than me. So, you know how it is, man. The team, relies on you in big moments, and you have to be ready when your number's called. Throughout the season, I didn't know when that would be. If I was going to, if I got traded, it got sent back to the same team. So it's like, you never know what your role is going to be. Just got to stay ready when your opportunity comes. And I've done that, and I'm in great shape and just ready to move forward.
Mike, you're 19. What is the conversation and relationship with Coach Finch at this point, for him to have this confidence in you, to know that he can call on you at any point in time for any different reason?
Well, I think he knows I'm a real extension of him on the court. The messaging and all the things he's trying to accomplish with our team, he knows I'm going to go out there and implement it. He knows I'm not going to, shortcut things. I'm a coach on the floor for this team, and this unit, needs that from me in my role. So I think Coach really, has a lot of confidence in that. And like I said, he puts me in when he needs me, and try to go out there and play well.
All right, Mike, you've been in the league for 19 seasons. Help us to understand.
Y'all gotta keep reminding
I'm gonna keep telling them that. Okay, almost 2 decades you've been around the block.
Now I know how you feel, man. I was there before.
Talk to me about what you have seen in this team, the ability to be resilient despite all odds, despite all injuries. Like, what makes this squad different, still being able to pull out the wins when necessary?
I think what makes this team different is we don't rely on just 1 or 2 people on a nightly basis. Like you've seen it through, the Denver series, first game tonight. We have different guys that we can, have step up for us on any given night. We're really deep. We got a team that doesn't really, care if a team goes on a 5-10-0 run. We just go right back to, implementing our work and what we do and stay consistent. And we never get, never get scared, never waver from our confidence. And that starts with Ant, starts with Julius, the leaders of this team, and they lead us in a way that it's very special to have that kind of leadership. So it's easy to go out there and play for each other and try to get dubs.
Last question. Any media trading for the young guys that do interviews post-game or anything like that? Because y'all have some of the best quotes I've ever seen in the history of the NBA.
I got nothing for them. I just want them to just stay true to themselves. So they just keep answering the questions like they do, and it's completely honest, and they're not trying to be mean or anything. It's just whatever they feel.
And it's TV Gold. We appreciate you,
Hey,
Mike,
Mike,
for
no
stopping
grades,
by.
huh? I see you, boy.
What's up?
You no grades. Look at you. Hold on.
Is it just for men? Is it just for men?
Oh, see, I won't do it. Hey, no, that wasn't set up. I wasn't trying to do that. Strays.
I got you when I see y'all, bro. Don't even worry about it.
Hey, man, go hop in the tub, man. Ice down, brother.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Appreciate it. That's Mike Conley.
Mike.
Again, asked to step into the starting role over the last 3 games after coming off the bench for 4 games throughout these playoffs. Let's go to the podium. Use some Met Gala fashion. It's the first Monday in May. Jimmy Butler was in full effect. The theme, guys, is fashion is art. Do you get it?
I do get it.
You get it?
I understand it.
Okay. This was by Aloe. Russell Westbrook was there. Of course, he didn't have a shirt on underneath.
That's Russ, though.
Okay.
I feel like, you guys are getting somewhere with these pictures, though.
Where are we getting? No,
The build-up?
we're just showing
Yeah, the build-up is
we're
real.
just showing you the photos from today. That's all. D-Wade and Gabby.
Oh, that's a dope pic.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
That's a fly pic.
Yes, love Gabby's outfit. The Currys were there.
Oh, hoodie Steph.
Ooh,
Okay.
let's go.
Hoodie Steph, okay.
It almost looks like The Matrix. Okay, the build-up that we were getting to, Mello, was we did want to go back to 2014.
I already know.
To when Carmelo Anthony was at the Met Gala. This was before he wore shades everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. He put on a top hat.
That was the
He was
the
looking
theme.
like
That was
Dapper
the
Dan.
theme for
Bro, I didn't know you wore suits or slacks or tuxedos.
that was a good theme that night.
I like that one. 2016.
That's sharp.
and that's
Kind of just dumbed it down a little bit.
I love that one.
Kept it clean.
I love it. Okay, that was super clean.
That was for you. That was for you. That
I
was
did.
for
I
you.
like that look. Victor Wembanyama, he had a triple-double in the game, but ultimately stuck with that.
Yeah, Wemby.
Like that, right? 76ers taking on the Knicks, y'all. This one, we thought it was about to go down in the Garden, and it did. One team showed up and showed out. Brunson had 14 points in the first quarter.
Talk to us, VC. Talk to us, VC. Talk to us, VC.
It was on.
My man was ready for this matchup right here, boy. Oh, my goodness. Way to show up and show out.
Knicks shot at 65.9% from the field in the first half.
Yeah, this pretty much wasn't a game.
Yeah, didn't miss much. Didn't miss much. Cat was going off. Brunson couldn't stop nailing threes. 27 points in the first half, 35 points on the game. He tied his best first half of the season. Spike is in it. I saw Detective Stabler was out there too. Here comes OG. He made 22 of his last 22 shots in the playoffs. It's getting late.
Stabler.
He needs to do some investigating.
He does. We got to figure out what's going on with these 76ers.
This don't even
They
look
got
right.
a bench coming in,
119,
shooting
88
Firing away.
Come on, Jimmy, get them
35-footers.
together. That was Tyler Kolek, by the way.
Justin Tuck.
19 threes in the night set a new franchise playoff record.
Wow.
The Knicks get a 39-point win.
Knicks on one right now.
Yeah, their 2 largest wins in franchise history have come in back-to-back games. That's what they're on right now. That's what they're on. They're the first team in NBA history to win 3 straight playoff games by at least 25 points. Let's hear from Nick Nurse, who was caught in the crosshairs on this one.
I know that wasn't any fun. It wasn't any fun to sit there. It wasn't any fun, to be a part of, to be honest, and watch. But it's 0-1. Doesn't really matter if it's 6 points or 36 or whatever the hell it was. It's 0-1, and we got to wash that one away and get back. And we're gonna have to find and provide much more energy and physicality and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So a 39-point loss for Nick Nurse and the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's start with the good, Mello. Let's start with the good. The Knicks. Before in the pregame show, we said it's a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team. We've seen a Knicks team show up that loses it down the stretch and loses by 1 point a couple of times to the Hawks, and then we saw the one that blew them out by 51 points in Atlanta. That's the team that showed up in New York. Why is that? Where's the consistency? What are they building on right now?
I think the confidence. I mean, if you go back to the Atlanta series, them last 3 games, they came out ready to play. And I think being able to rest, in between that series and this series was a big key to that. But also the attention to details, right? Offensively, JB got it going. in the first quarter, set the tone, which he always does. But defensively, they just was smothering Philadelphia 76ers, man. And it was almost, we were sitting here watching it like, man, we can't believe what we're actually watching here. But the Knicks defense showed up. You can see here, you see how they shifting it. They shifting the court. They getting into passing lanes. They getting steals. Kick ahead, OG. Get the fast break layup. Get the fast break dunk. Right here, Cat. Cat is usually back right in that drop coverage. But VJ is not coming off a three pulling that. So Cat got a chance to play in between that. And here, we getting back on the defense. Mikal Bridges, you're taught to get to the sprint to the middle of the court on the defensive drill. And he did that. Again, New York defense was phenomenal tonight. Everybody who played the game contributed to this win on the Knicks team.
Philly, just make some adjustments, right? We got to regroup. New York did what they were supposed to do, right? They hit hard, they hit first, they hit last. They hit second. all the hits. They had all the hits. But, you know, I think with Philadelphia, obviously wasn't ready for the magnitude of what this game was in Game 1. I mean, the score says that. But you still have Joel Embiid, right, healthy. He rested in his game. Actually, all 5 starters rested in the fourth quarter. So we expect this to be a different game in Game 2. And I expect Maxey to be a little bit more aggressive coming downhill. Feature Joel Embiid a little bit more. For me, he did his job of getting those guys in foul trouble. It really didn't pay off for him because they didn't play no defense in this game. Defensively, they have to be a totally different team in terms of being aggressive and hitting with their physicality. We didn't see that because Brunson got whatever he wanted in this game.
I'll say it was a quick turnaround for him, so the game plan can't be as, you know, sophisticated as they probably wanted it to be. You know, it kind of had to, you know, somewhat simple just to get them prepared. Now they have some film to kind of game plan, I think, for Game 2. The other thing is, I said it earlier and I'm going to say it again, you cannot allow Jalen Brunson to hide or to sit in the corner on the defensive end and then torch you on the offensive end. I think the one thing, and I said that first as far as game plan preparation, I don't think they had enough time to watch all the film versus the Atlanta Hawks that they need to prepare themselves how they want to play defensively. So, yes, I agree, play through Joel Embiid, but at the same time, you cannot let Jalen Brunson sit over there. You have to put him in actions to have to guard. He has to play both sides of the ball.
I thought Philly played too slow tonight. I thought they went through Joel and played through Joel too much tonight. And instead of picking their spots and letting the game build up, they started off the game going to Joel. Throughout the game, they was going to Joel. When they needed something, they stopped and they went to Joel. I don't think they was playing with a lot of pace today. For them to only score 98 points, we're going to take our hat off to the Knicks defense, but 98 points for this Philadelphia 76ers team is just unacceptable in Game 1, especially on the road.
And I think you pivot once you started to see them double Joel. So, like, now let's go somewhere else. Yes, you did your job, but he started to turn the ball over. And I said, against Boston, Joel has been known to get turnovers on a double team when he's into his move, and that's when they double team.
Especially when you're tired.
Yes.
When you're tired, mentally you're tired. You know, you just came off a Game 7 win in Boston, and in 48 hours you got to prepare for the New York Knicks. Nah, you got to take a beat. You got to take a second to figure this out. But I think Philly would be better, a lot better in Game 2. I'm interested to see what adjustments the Knicks make, because after winning a game like this, you're going back like, what adjustments we need to make? Now it's on Philly to make the adjustments.
Right. But you said it before that Nick Nurse has that capability. One thing he can do is make adjustments on the fly, that mad scientist. Same thing Quinn Snyder, we attributed to him with the Atlanta Hawks. So what are the adjustments that can be made ultimately?
For me, I think it's having actions to where you can get Maxey downhill, right? Because that's what he's great at, and getting him 2 feet in the paint with Joel Embiid lifted sometimes so that paint is wide open. Right now with Joel Embiid and him being down there kind of clogs it up a little bit, so he's kind of hesitant. And then if they're doing the pick and roll and that man is in the drop coverage, you got to be aggressive, getting to your spot and taking that 2-point shot. So it's a lot of things that Philly can do differently. We'll be interested to see what those adjustments are, but Maxey has to he and VJ have to get downhill and get out in transition and get those points. Like, they need easy baskets because they were trying to work for everything in this game.
Particularly in the first quarter. We said Maxey can't have only 3-4 shots in the first quarter. He ended up with 8 for the half, 9 for the game.
It's not enough.
He's a superstar.
Yeah.
And he needs to get touches. I agree. We have to get Joel Embiid the ball because he's a difference maker. But when things are stagnant, you have this young man who can get it done.
Yeah, and in the series just a season ago or 2 seasons ago, he was at Case. Then Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey canceled each other out a little bit, but we just didn't see those numbers.
It was too much. It was too much thrown at Philly today in a short period of time. They didn't have a chance to pivot from Boston to the Knicks. They didn't have enough time.
Travel baked into that 48 hours, just not a lot of time to turn around.
Long trip from Boston.
Long trip in Philly and New York. All right, tonight is just the start of the second round of the playoffs. Take an early look at tomorrow's line from DraftKings Sportsbook. In Game 1 between the Lakers and Thunder, Oklahoma City is favored by 15.5 points. Ooh, y'all. And they already got a win in Game 1. Now, tomorrow's Game 1s we have coming your way. The top seed in the East, Detroit Pistons taking on the Cavs, 7 Eastern on Peacock and NBCSN. And then it'll be the West semis, the Lakers, the top seed in the West, Thunder at 8:30 Eastern. That one taking place on NBC and Peacock. Will be with you the entire evening. Let's start with the Pistons and the Cavs, both of them coming off of series that went to 7. All right, I feel like maybe the Pistons have found some of their groove. Which one has more momentum coming in to the second round?
I'm going to give it to the Pistons, but I think it's a quick turnaround for both teams. And I'll be interested to see what the game plan looks like. What's the matchup? Who will match up with who will match up on Cade Cunningham to slow that engine down? Because I feel like if you can slow Cade Cunningham down, you put the onus on other guys to lead the team and put them in position. I thought Tobias Harris played great in Game 7 against the Magic. Jalen Duren, now you're putting the pressure on him to be a force. And he's an all-star, but struggled, but found his way. But now you're putting that onus on him to kind of lead a team. So I'll be interested to see the defensive strategy by Cleveland. Who matches up against Cade Cunningham? I
like the energy of, I want to see the energy of Jalen Duren starting off fresh in this series. He ended the Orlando series having 15 and 15. To me, that was being aggressive. Like you was a force down there. I want to see you start the series off being a force against those 2 Twin Towers, because you're gonna have to bring it against those guys. And I think we may see Duren and Beef Stew out there together at times. So the physicality that Duren and Isaiah Stewart has to bring against the Cavaliers would be big.
Yeah, so that's where I was going with this, because Cade is going to be Cade, right? Yeah. But when you look at the Twin Towers and what they bring, and Jalen Duren, he's going to have to match up with one of those guys, and I'm not sure which one it is, but the other one's going to be be free to rebound, and that's Tobias Harris's job. Now, Tobias, you don't have a small guy on you now. You got a 7-footer on you. So can you have that same type of impact that you had on the last series, which is going to tell me how well you've been working on your game, right? And how confident you are coming off of a 3-1 deficit, because he had a huge impact on the offensive end. Smaller guys taking advantage of them in the post. Now you're going to have one of these 7-footers on you. You're not going to be able to post up and get those easy baskets like you were getting in this game. So I want to see, have you worked on your in-between game? Have you worked on, your creativity off the dribble? It's going to have to be a difference in terms of how you play the game of basketball on the offensive end against these guys.
Another fun little storyline, JB Bickerstaff, he did receive a contract extension after obviously getting the Pistons out of the first round, going into the second round for the first time since 2008 and getting a series win. And remember, he was let go from the Cavaliers in the 2023-24 season. So an opportunity, a little get back.
I see what you get. Motivation. I see what you get.
Jeezy voice. All right, let's get over to the West. #1 seed. Why are you throwing your papers away? We have one.
We're talking about the West. That was the East.
Game to break down. I'll start with you. Lakers would have to do what to overcome the 15 points that DraftKings
15-point deficit.
Right, exactly. The hole they already put them in to start the game.
LeBron James is going to have to turn back the clock and have a very big game.
What else?
And I'm talking 30 points. 30. I'm talking, rebounding, double digits in the 6. Like, his imprint is going to have to be all over this game, because this team is too deep, and without Luka, like you scoring is going to have to come from somewhere, and I don't think they have the depth to withstand a team like OKC and what they throwing at you. So LeBron James is in game one. No. LeBron is capable. And in game, we're talking about game one. He's rested, right? I'm talking about game one. He's going to have to bring that.
This is his game.
It has to be his game. It has to be.
I'm going to say this is defense. The Lakers' defense got to show up. And we can't say the Lakers' offense, because if you're not out there playing defense against OKC, you're going to get ran out. You're going to get swept, and you're going to get ran out the court, out the gym. What I'm saying is, this is why you have the Jared Vanderbilts. This is why you have Marcus Smarts. This is why you have those guys. This is why you brought those guys to the Lakers. For going up against a team that have a shade. I'm just giving my analysis, man.
You said you gave yours, I'm giving mine.
I'm giving mine.
Fair.
Defense. Lakers got to really dial in on the defense. Offensively, they better hope Luka come back. They better hope AR is good. And LeBron got to tighten up that cape a little bit more. I just don't see the Lakers having enough. I don't see the depth that the Lakers have going up against OKC. They're going to have to muddy this series up. Game one, you got to muddy it up. You got to make it physical. You got to make it dirty. You can't go in there and try to shoot a bunch of threes against a team like that. You got to control the ball. You take care of the ball, no turnovers. And you got to go out there and play. Like, I don't know. You just got to go out there and play basketball, be confident, and also attention to details, though. Whatever the strategy is, whatever JJ gives you, Coach JJ gives you, stick to the script. And if it works, cool. If it don't, we'll make that adjustment.
Yeah.
I think they're going to need multiple guys. They're going to need 5, 6 guys to score in double figures to play slightly above what they've been doing. I think you cannot turn the basketball over, because you cannot allow OKC to play against one in their half court, two to get out in transition and get multiple guys scoring. And one thing, Matt, you said in their last series, you cannot play fast. I think you need to be deliberate with possessions, controlling the possessions of the game, because you allow OKC to play fast and get all the shots they want, and then you try to match that. That is a formula to lose the series.
You can't match that.
So I agree. LeBron has to play fantastic, but he's going to have to find ways to get other guys feeling confident to play. They're going to need shooting. They're going to need Kennard. They're going to need Rui. All of these guys to play. Those guys are going to have to average 17 or better, collectively, to give themselves a shot.
That's tough.
That's tough.
That's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Listen, Oklahoma City, they swept the season series, and only one game was decided by fewer than 29 points. So on that note...
What? So they might get 8 wins in a row?
Those guys ain't played. Most of those guys, they didn't play. How many times were all those guys on the court against?
We gonna talk about that
Luka's not going to be...
We're talking about that tomorrow. We're trying to get off the show now, Mel. Don't be trying to add stuff to the show.